Well, hey there, YouTube. It's Petey Two Finger, and I ran into a little bit of an issue. I had ordered these strap locks for a new guitar, the Cozart semi-hollow body, and I just didn't like these strap locks. The other style, the Schaller style strap locks, they seem to, at least some of the ones I've been getting, the quality took a nosedive, and they actually have fallen apart. Like the business end of it that you pull, it'll just come off. Now, I did use some JB Weld automotive epoxy to repair that, so yeah, you can JB Weld them, and then they're as good as new, if not better. But that's not really the point. Long story short, I decided not to buy Schallers. I bought the other type, and they're so heavy. They're literally 38 grams as opposed to the Schaller that I weighed. I think it was a real Schaller, was 19 grams. The imitation Schaller was a little heavier, but I mean, and I know this sounds ridiculous to be complaining about 18 grams or 36 grams on a guitar, but it all adds up. So I didn't like the action on these things. Like once you got them on, like they were like chunk, and it was hard to get them off, and like they were big and heavy, more like a melee weapon than a strap lock. So I crack myself up from time to time. So yeah, I went to remove those, and the screw head just snapped off. Like this is the screwdriver I used, okay? Which it's a beefy screwdriver, and I have Dum Dum that I keep on the end of my Phillips screwdrivers, which works almost like the idea of having a magnetic screwdriver, but even better, having this rubber Dum Dum on the end of here. I can stick a screw on it and it'll stay on. So yeah, I go in there, crack, it just comes right off. So of course I'm going at it with a vice grip, and pliers and needle nose, and it was just a disaster. So I watched some videos, and they were talking about using stainless steel fasteners instead of the junk that comes with the strap locks from China, and then you don't have to worry about it as much. These are square, flathead square. They're not Phillips, they're not regular, they're a square driver. And I got these at the hardware store. Now, I went to Home Depot. Here's these sticks. You can sand them down a little bit and sand another one down and pair them up, and then tap them in with and I used a chopstick, like a large chopstick. I drilled the butt end out and tapped in a chopstick, like a real larger, like as big as a pencil. Now, the videos that I had watched, there was different methods. There was like a guy with some stainless steel tubing, and he took a hacksaw blade and cut a slot, and then cut another slot, and he put that tubing in his drill, and then applied it to the screw. Now, what I did, I went looking for these tension pins. This is a cylindrical spring, or a tension pin, or whatever you call it. Now, I know I had seen these at Home Depot, and the guy in the video telling me how to do it, he specifically instructed me to go to Home Depot to get these. So I went over there because Home Depot is the closest hardware store. And my experience at Home Depot has been the worst employees. Just if you need to ask them for help, they're dickish, they're rude. They like I had one guy, he was like, "Why would you ever want to do that?" And it's like, that's not your concern. You know what I mean? Like, you're here to help me, to assist me, not say, why would anybody want to make their own grinder? And then he stopped for a second and he goes, come to think of it, I made my own grinder when I was a kid too. Like, dude, do I have to haul off and slap you, or can you just show me where what I need is? And I don't remember what we got there. I do remember, I think we went back home, and I made it with whatever I had here, and it still fucking works. 20 some years later, it's still going. So today, I'm trying to explain to multiple employees, and then I was like, can you call somebody who knows about fasteners? Oh, I will do. Then this little guy, Miguel, comes up and goes, sir, you have to go. We're shutting this whole aisle down. And I was like, what? I was like, listen, pal, I'm not about to go because I've been here waiting for 15 minutes for an associate to come when I asked one of your guys to call. Well, we can take care of that and we can call for you, but you're going to need to go. And I wouldn't go. I just kept, he was trying to come at me and herd me out of the aisle, and I would just walk around him. I'm like, nope, I'm not saying nothing and I'm not going, because I worked in retail. I met my wife in retail, and I know how you treat people when you're in retail, and that's not it. If somebody's a little bit upset, because I wasn't being a dick and I wasn't flipping out, but I wasn't happy. And I explained to him, I spoke with one of you, I've been here waiting for 15 minutes, nobody showed up, now you're herding me out of here, and you're not being really kind of polite about it. That's not cool. And I told him, I said, and this is every time that I work, when I deal with somebody who's rude to me in retail, I say, I worked in retail too, and I know when a customer is being a dick, when they deserve to be treated poorly, but I'm not that. And you're a fucking asshole, and I'm gonna get your name and at least make you think twice, because I got your name, So I ended up leaving after dealing with this Miguel for about 3 minutes. I ended up giving in and walking away, and he said he went and told somebody to call again, and I'm like, who did you tell to call? Because there wasn't anybody there. The guy he was talking to was the guy who lied to me in the first place. So I went and asked this other curly-haired white teenager kid, and he was like The Shining, and I'm like, I can tell, maybe this isn't your expertise, so can you just call someone? So then he went and talked to this other young guy with facial hair, and they were both snickering. Now it's funny, So I explained to that guy, and he's like showing me springs on his phone, and I'm like, it's called a circular spring, but it's a spring steel or high tensile treated steel tube, a cylinder with a slit cut out of it. You tap this in. It's a compression fitting. It's oh my God, if I had a dime for every time someone tried to sell me a spring today. So eventually, this guy comes and he's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, these things are real. They exist. I got a bag of them here, and I eventually went to fucking Menards and got a whole bag of them. And he's like, no, I wish I had a picture. And I said, well, if you're not patient enough to listen to me tell you what it is, because I already told you, and I'm telling you again, it's a fucking spring steel. It's a black high tensile steel tube that's 5/16 with a slit cut in it. Like how you can be in your 60s working at Home Depot and not know what one of these is, the attention pin, So then I tell him what it's for, and then he's like, oh, let me go into the Ryobi section and sell you a $15 Easy Out kit. And he's like, I can't find where they are. And I'm like, dude, I don't want an Easy Out. For one, they're way too big. The smallest one that they sell is too big by twice as much. And for two, it's going to be $15 for the stupid kit of Easy Out, bits. I know what those are, and I didn't. I came to buy this 47-cent thing. So he's like, "Where did you go?" And I'm like, "I'm in the fucking fasteners where I kept telling you we need to go." Like I was basically leading him around because I started going through the thing trying to find the easy out kit just to show him, look, they're too big, and because I had one of the proper screws in my pocket to show him, and I had already showed him. So it's like he needed to see both of them next to each other to see that this easy out, the smallest easy out, was twice as big in diameter as the fastener in question. So finally he's like, "I've got it." And he's like, "Somebody put something in front of it." Like, dude, you were supposed to be in the fastener aisle. That's where you were supposed to be. Double checking to make sure I didn't miss this. Because I've seen them at Home Depot before. They reduced the pull-out drawers and to make stock for more other bullshit. And they didn't have them. So I left. I went to menards. There was a guy, and I asked him. There was a guy standing there when I walked in, and I ended up getting a few of these just in case. I wasn't sure about the diameter. So I got 3/16, I got 1/4 inch, I got 5/16, 5/32, excuse me. And the 5/32, that was the one that I was looking at and when I was in the store that I thought, if any of these works, it's going to be that. So the idea is you put that thing in the end of your drill, you chuck it up, and then you put the drill in reverse, and that slot that's cut out of it might just grab onto enough of that steel and extract the screw. Because I had the screw that was in there, it just didn't look good, so I had filled it up with, I had tapped dowels in and then drilled it out and installed it. That's why it got hot. I stressed that fastener when I installed it because I used my Ryobi electric drill, which was stupid. You should do it by hand and slowly, So lesson learned: use stainless and go take her easy when you do that. So eventually I got a bag of these things. I bought like 6 of them or 8 of them, all different sizes, and it fucking worked like a charm. I extracted the goddamn screw, which the end of it was like pointed from me tearing it up with vice grips and shit and pliers. So it was, I was amazed. I started high. I started out with larger diameter and then worked my way to the 5/32. Like I had one that was obviously kind of big that I chucked and held it up there, and I was like, no. Then I had another one that I tried, and it cut out a little wood. Then I went to the 5/32, and man, I could not believe it. It fucking grabbed that screw, it grabbed onto it, and extracted it. It was like, hallelujah, praise the Lord. Like I'm dancing a literal fucking jig in my kitchen. And then we pulled it out, and Donna's like, so this is a one-use thing, now you throw it away? And I said, no, I grabbed my needle nose and popped the screw right out of it. So here's the screw end that it extracted. Here it is, and here's the end that it grabbed onto. That's the end that it grabbed onto and extracted this. So, lesson learned. These like pot metal screws that they send you with the strap locks, don't use them in your guitar. Get some stainless screws. And like, I don't like the idea of having to get a special square bit, but really, to be honest with you, I don't care. Once I got that thing installed, it ain't going nowhere. So that's the story of how I extracted and sorry for going off on this Home Depot story, but this is me every time I go to Home Depot. Every time they're like, I thought we carried that. We've had it for years, and it's not here. And it's every time that I need something, and regardless of the store. Like I could go to like Pepperidge Farm bread store, and there won't be bread. You know what I mean? But that's my life. So you guys take care of yourselves. Try to stay cool. Hug your pets and peace.